that is the film that brought us to horror, Hysteria. Incredible movie. Head-spinning moment none of us will forget. 50 years since The Exorcist hit the cinemas. We're joined by someone who knows a thing or two about hunting spirits.
Yeah, on the surface, Reverend Jason Bray is your ordinary Anglican vicar, leading christenings, weddings and funerals. But for the last 27 years, he's also been hired to hunt down demons as a real-life exorcist.
And he's joining us now on the spookiest day of the year. Morning, Reverend.
Morning, Reverend.
Hi.
Thank you for joining us.
No, thanks for asking me on. I'm thrilled to be here. Wow.
Thanks for being part of this.
So,
are you quite
only person
impressed?
not in costume, but brought the hats.
There
yes,
we go.
we like
You're
it.
in. You should wear that all the time, by the way. You look great.
I wear that quite a lot of the time.
So, talk us through this. Your day job is working as a dean.
Yeah, so I'm the Dean of Llandaff Cathedral in Cardiff. So, sort of slightly weirdly, the cathedral in Cardiff is sort of at the edge of the city, and it's like sort of walking into a sort of medieval film set, really. You know, you sort of walk in and it's just different, and the cathedral's at the bottom of the hill, and it's a stunning place to go.
Yeah.
And so that's my day job, and basically I run it, and lots of meetings, lots of lots of meeting people, lots of meeting tourists as well. So we get a few of those, do some more.
Yeah.
Sort of lots of services as well. It's a cathedral, so we have a fantastic choir. They sing pretty much every evening, and then sort of lots of other things going on as well.
It's a busy job, right?
It's a really busy job.
It sounds incredible. So how did you fall into this? Did you have a moment with a particular spirit yourself?
Yeah, so when I was first ordained 27 years ago, we lived in a house that was, basically get allocated a house.
Yeah.
So we saw the house first. It was in January, so it was cold and it was dark and it had been empty for a while. We thought it was just a cold, dark house. And it never got warm and it never really got light. So we moved in June, and it just stayed that way.
It didn't feel right?
Yeah, it just didn't feel right. In fact, it was really cold in some places. So a couple of months after we were there, our first son was born, Tom. And we got this sort of nursery for him, and his room seemed to be colder than any other.
Which is always more acute when it's a nursery, isn't it? You sort of notice it a bit more.
Yeah, you sort of notice it, and you think, well, is it because it's got two external walls?
Yeah.
Is it bled the radiators, turned the thermostat up? Nothing seemed to work. And it just stayed that way. And, in fact, it seemed to sort of get worse. Okay, went into the winter and then came out of the winter, thought it'll just warm up in the summer, and it didn't. And then two things happened. So I went off on a course for a couple of days, and I came back, my wife, Laura, really not impressionable at all. And she said, there's something really odd about this house. She said, because, it was cold in Tom's room. She said, well, it was so cold when I went to, when I went into the room because he was crying, it was like walking into a freezer. She said it was that cold. Not making it up, she said, I had to have him in bed with me, and I think there's something really odd about this house. And then I had a sort of weird experience myself.
Yeah.
So I was reading in bed, went to the toilet, and sort of came out the bathroom door, and I didn't see anything, to be honest, but there was like this sort of impression of somebody standing on the other side of the door, about my height, grey eyes, and with like a sort of mask on, a bit like most of the people around here today. But with this sort of big wooden mask. And was just sort of staring at me with unbridled hostility through the door.
Wow.
What on earth is going on? So, just sort of plucked up the courage and opened the bathroom door. Nothing there. Threw myself under the duvet, and Laura said, "Well, are you all right? You look like you've seen a ghost." I said, "Well, I haven't seen anything, but." So she said, "Well, get your boss in." So my boss, the vicar, came round and he splashed holy water around the place. He said a couple of prayers. We said the Lord's Prayer together. And the house sort of just returned to the way it should have been. It sort of lifted it, and it was sort of warm, and it was comfortable, and it was a nice place to be. A couple of things happened afterwards. I had a conversation with somebody who said when they were building the house, they disturbed a Roman graveyard.
Right, okay.
And so...
I bet that must have been a nice, relaxing chat for you.
Yeah, so, the house is all right by then. And that's Jason, how I got into it.
So when you... It's going to sound weird, because you're a man of the cloth, so therefore... there is a leap of faith involved in everything that you talk about and everything,
Yeah.
So, but at the same time, when you're telling your fellow kind of lay preachers and clergymen and so forth, is there scepticism from them?
Yeah, some of them, Yeah, some of them don't really believe in it.
Yeah.
Some of them think it's a whole load of rubbish. Some of them don't want to go anywhere near it at all for whatever reason.
Yeah.
So every time we get called out, we speak to the local vicar, and you just get this sort of, no, you deal with it. Don't want to, don't want to go anywhere near this.
So
Thank
what
you very much.
happens? And so in terms of the training, what happens? We haven't got that long, but what happens? And what the tools of the trade?
Right,
Can you
okay.
show us?
Right, tools of the trade.
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
so
It's like a little doctor, isn't it? Look at this.
Doctor, yeah, hey. So I've got various bits and pieces. That is a stole that I wear around my neck.
Yes.
When I'm doing these things.
So you'll go into someone's house.
Go into somebody's house.
You'll put that on.
Yeah, we have a conversation. Try to work out what's going on.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it can be, it can be them. Sometimes it can be because there's, for want of a better word, a sort of ghost or a presence or something like that. Sometimes it can be because, they've got some sort of condition or they're on medication that makes them see things or whatever. But we always have a conversation. And then I usually bless the house. So I've got this spectacular thing. It's a holy water sprinkler. Basically...
sprinkle that around?
Yeah, so...
you bless that yourself?
Yeah, bless that myself.
Yeah, bless the studio if you want.
Go on.
Go on. I don't... Oh, can you not just do
Too many
that?
spirits here to exercise.
Too many spirits here to exercise.
Don't say
that. So I've got a holy water bottle, so I sort of carry that with me and then bless it at the time. So there's that. That's really important. And then if there's, maybe on the second visit, if you have to go back and it hasn't settled, we celebrate the Eucharist, communion, mass, whatever you want.
Do the whole thing.
Yeah.
So all the bells and spells.
So with the not necessarily. But,
do you know what? I'd like to do this when I'm moving into any house. Do you know what I mean? I think it'd be a good thing to
actually,
do
we
just
do
to move
get
into
it.
the house.
We do that. Yeah, we do that sometimes. So sometimes people will say, actually, just moving into a new house.
Just want to make sure everything's all right.
Clean kind of thing.
Yeah, it's just, it's a nice thing to do, actually.
It really is.
So, and, from a Christian priest point of view, what we're doing is sort of bringing the love of God into that situation, wherever it is.
Right, and I guess even if, like you said, some people are ill and some people have, the medication, it just gives people a bit of calm and a bit of kind of serenity, I suppose.
Yeah, and, you could say that a lot of what we do is actually bringing reassurance.
Yeah.
So people are always frightened. When they get in touch with us, they're always frightened and they're always we just sort of say, actually, we're here to help.
But Chase, before we let you go, you've never seen The Exorcist?
I've never seen... No, I've still never seen it.
It's such a good film.
It's too frightening. I'm not into horror films at all.
No, I'm not into horror films at all. My son has watched them all and he's the expert.
No, don't watch it.
No, still never seen The Exorcist.
Well, you wear the hat well anyway, so...
Yeah.
Thank you, Reverend.
Reverend, thank you so much for joining us today.
No.
Really appreciate it.
It's been a pleasure.
And please do bless the studio later.
Yeah, feel free to bless. Hi, everyone. Just wanted to say thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. Now, listen, we upload new content every day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. And we'll see you in the morning.